The always engaging Idris Elba plays a business negotiator trying to keep the peace on a hijacked flight. Let's talk about Apple TV Plus's Hijack. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my TV review for the Apple TV Plus series Hijack, starring Idris Elba. Season 1 is streaming now. This could have easily been a mini-series. It does wrap up at the end, but it has been renewed for a Season 2. So I'm not sure where this will be going in Season 2, if there's going to be another hijacked flight or whatever the story is, or if it's going to be an anthology and maybe Idris Elba isn't even a part of it. Don't know. But for now, we have Season 1, and I watched this whole thing. I thought after the first 3 episodes, there's 7 total, I just figured, you know what, this a kind of show like this sort of lives or dies by its resolution and how well or poorly it ends. So I figured I would see this one through and watch all 7 episodes before I reviewed it for you. So we've got that to look forward to here. But before we get to that, let me welcome you into Dan Reviews It. Thank you for finding this video. We got movie and TV reviews here on the channel. Just about every day, something new is going up. So always a lot to check out. We've got playlists on the homepage for you to check out if you're more interested in the TV stuff or the movie stuff or my more specialized videos. You can check it all out on the homepage. So please consider subscribing. Click that notification bell. Click that like button. All that stuff, of course, helps the channel out. All right, Idris Elba, you know, he's always dynamic. We love whenever he's in anything. It usually elevates the material, no pun intended here with the plane. But in this, he plays Sam Nelson, who is a corporate business negotiator, and he is on a flight which turns out to be hijacked, and it's a 7-hour flight from Dubai to London. And because there's 7 episodes, they're about an hour each. This is almost in real time, and I always love that concept of real time because I think it's so interesting what you can do with that. And of course, there have been many shows and movies over the years to have done this sort of concept, but I always find it interesting when something is done in real time. And it's not like exact, but it's pretty close, because of that flight time. So they try to maintain that. Everybody else in this show I was unfamiliar with except for one. I'll get to her. But we've got Neil Maskell as one of the hijackers, Christine Adams, who is Sam's estranged wife, Eve Miles as an air traffic controller, and then the person I know, Archie Panjabi, she was on The Good Wife, one of my favorites from recent years, and she plays somebody, attempting to figure out what is going on. She's on, the terrorism group to try and stop terrorists. And so for a little while, nobody on the ground even knows that this is a hijacked flight, the way they're sort of dealing with everything. And we're not going to go too much into spoilers here, so I guess we'll kind of stop there. But like I said, a show like this really does kind of live or die by how it resolves and how everything ends in that final episode. So I do think it's good to kind of watch this whole thing. But I think it's engaging from the start. I mean, each episode ends on a pretty solid cliffhanger. And Apple TV Plus put the first 3 episodes up the first day and then a week per episode after that. And the cliffhanger at episode 3 is like maybe one of the best ones. So that was a very smart decision because anybody watching those first 3, like myself, I watched the first 3 in one day and then I'm like, okay, I can't review it after this. I got to see what else is going on. So, these cliffhangers are very well done. Idris Elba, of course, is great. Like I said, he elevates most things. But this didn't really need a ton of elevation as it is. I think the script is pretty good. And they keep finding clever ways to sort of diffuse the situation or kind of diversion tactics for the terrorists. And there's only, a few terrorists and then a whole plane worth of people. So, when you do hear people talking, yes, it is a smaller space because it's an airplane. But, if you've been on like a commercial flight, it's pretty big, and then you've got the business class up front, and then of course one of the terrorists, is up by the pilot. So, it's very likely that you're able to have full blown conversations and stuff without the terrorists hearing you. Because at first I was like, would this really, it's such a closed space. Would they really be able to have this conversation or do this sort of thing or whatever? And all of it kind of checked out for me. It really did. I got the sense that, yeah, they were being quiet when they had to, but there were plenty of times when there just aren't enough of the bad guys to sort of watch everybody at once. So I thought that was pretty well done. And the directors here, there's a few different directors because it is a TV show. So, a couple episodes here, a couple episodes there, directed by different people. But I think they all kind of made the most of that small space in the plane. They made it seem very large. And I will say it might wane a little bit in episodes like 5 and 6 because it is the whole, 7-hour flight. They need to keep sort of re-engaging everybody, and okay, now in this episode we're going to focus on this, or the bad guys are going to do this or attack this person or whatever. And some of it's like, all right, now we're just maybe stretching a little bit for time, but all the way, it's pretty good. Some of the episodes aren't even quite a full, like, 50 or 55 minutes, so it does make the good use of its time. But it does have that classic sort of conundrum of how can we overpower the bad guys if they're that smart, right? So they have to kind of a little bit make these kind of simple errors, right, to let the good guys in the door a little bit. So there's a few times where it's like, okay, would people with such a well-crafted plot here of terrorism be this stupid? I'm not sure. And they don't go to that well a lot, but definitely a couple of times, sort of in those later episodes. But I do think that this sticks the landing. Again, no pun intended, but I guess I've got all these plain thoughts in my head. It really in that last episode comes together. And in season 2. I don't know if I want to see this character again in another hijack situation, or if we're going to have a completely different set of actors. I'm not sure which one makes more sense, but I love Idris Elba so much. I would love to see this character again for sure. But, depending on how many seasons we're going to get of this, it does become like 24 a little bit, where it's like, okay, how many bad days can Jack Bauer really have? Or Liam Neeson in how many family members of Liam Neeson can be taken? It gets a little ridiculous after a while. But I leave Hijack with a B+. You can check out the full series now, or full season 1 anyway, now on Apple TV+. All right, thank you for watching Dan Reviews It, and we'll see you next time. Bye.